Recorded. Good morning, world. This is Al Otero welcoming everybody to our monthly success stories series. And it showcases amazing people around the world. And today we have some very special guests, right, Maria?
Absolutely. Welcome. And definitely, we're going to be doing this actually every week.
Oh, every week.
Yeah, because what we want to do also is not just feature successful women in our network, but also feature all the ladies that are going to be featured in the book.
Oh, they're in the book.
Yes.
Why can't I be in the book?
Well, you need to shave a little bit if you want to be on the book.
I tried.
I'll try, okay?
All right. So, it's the women. I love it. So this is an exciting day because we're going to showcase some great ladies, some friends. And who we're going to start with today, Maria?
Well, we have successful ladies that also receive an award in our recent and past Successful Women in Business Award for 2021.
Yes. That was phenomenal.
So we are so honored and happy to have three wonderful ladies today that are going to be joining the show. And also we're going to learn more about them.
Good.
We want to understand more of how they can teach us how to succeed and their secrets. Right. And everybody can always, take notes and learn more, because all these conversations and interviews are very motivational and are going to help you to improve in your daily life, to have a better routine, to see life in a different way. But at the same time, to find a balance between your personal life and business, which is the overall goal for our concept.
Yes. Balance is everything today with all the stress and incredible things that have happened for over 12 months now, right?
Yeah. Remember pandemic? This morning I was telling you about how things changed, and in the past, in the old times, we didn't have any technology. I didn't have any technology. I didn't have cell phones or internet when I was a child. But I still, the environment back in that time, it was different, but we also had stress. The difference is that we didn't see it in that moment because we were kids. But if you think as a parent, back in that time, maybe there was another situation that parents were dealing with. And yeah, we're living in a different time, but the situation, I think, about stress and how to form your family is still the same somehow. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think we just have to adapt to new ways of doing things, but there's always something that you have to deal with. So you have to be very flexible and open to change, because there's always something that may come up that's going to shatter your world, but you got to keep going, and you got to keep your kids trained and inspired and motivated no matter what's going on in the world.
Absolutely. So let's welcome our first guest. Today we're going to have a discussion panel, but I want to introduce first our first successful lady, Tonya McNeil Wery. Welcome.
Hello. Hi. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Tonya.
Hi.
Tonya is actually, yeah, she's from the U.S., right? Detroit, Michigan. We were talking to Al about it. Where is she, Tonya? From Michigan, Detroit? I want to double check. Chicago.
She's multinational.
Because we were reading your bio, and you're very involved with the global activities. You are the founder of the IBS, which is a global consulting firm for small businesses. So I'm sure you're traveling all the time and, getting in connection and helping businesses worldwide.
Yeah, so actually I was born in Chicago. So I'm from Chicago originally, but I've been living in Detroit now for about 20 years. So I consider myself a Detroiter.
Yes. Excellent.
I like it. Let's also welcome Rania Lampu. She's from Greece.
Yes, we have a global audience.
And she's a global educator, a Ministry of Education and Religious Affairs. Welcome, Rania. How are you? Good to see you again.
Greetings from Greece, from beautiful Athens. Thank you very much
Someday
for
we
this
can
kind
visit.
invitation.
You
I
know,
would
we have
like
an
to
invitation to
congratulate.
visit Athens, right?
Yes, I would like to congratulate Global Trade Chamber for this so significant event and so significant initiative to reward and pay tribute to inspiring women leaders from all over the world. And I'm feeling very honored and humbled to be featured also in 100 successful women business and in the book, and also for the award. I'm very grateful for this.
That's wonderful. Great to have you. We do have a global participation for this amazing book. So it's very exciting, very exciting.
Tonya, tell us more about your company.
Yes, so IBS Global Consulting was started in 2009, and we focus primarily on helping small businesses, small to medium-sized companies, expand into new markets around the world. Why we focus on small businesses? In my opinion, I think that small businesses are underrepresented when it comes to international trade, and wanted to make sure that small companies are represented and are able to successfully do business around the world.
That's amazing. So you also teach companies in other countries or from the US to expand to other countries?
Yes, so working with both U.S. companies going abroad, as well as foreign companies that want to enter into the U.S. market or any markets around the world. So we work in both directions.
That's amazing. You know what, Tonya, we need to, after this interview, sit and see how we're going to collaborate each other, because we used to do a lot of international trade, especially trade missions. But because of the pandemic, everything stopped. And we stopped doing these missions, but we were very active, right?
Yeah, we were traveling to different countries, and we did a lot of trade missions, inbound and outbound. So we need to get back to that, because regardless of what's going on, people want to meet face to face. People want to do business with people they actually met face to face. It's a good start with the internet, but it's not as effective and as comfortable to some countries.
You're right. That reminds me yesterday that I was going to school to pick up a book because I teach business. And all this time I was meeting with this lady through the camera. Actually, I never met her in person, but the only part that you can see is the face, right? So yesterday when I go and pick the book up, I didn't recognize her. She looks completely different. And I said, oh my God, I can't believe I was talking to her all the time on the camera, but when you see in person, it's completely different, and the reaction and everything. So I believe that the personal touch is very important. What do you think, Rania? You are in education.
Yes, I'm a global educator. I'm a STEM instructor, neuroeducation researcher. I'm also the founder of 5 international projects that are implemented mostly in Africa and Asia. And currently I'm working at the Greek Ministry of Education, but also at the Greek Astronomy and Space Company, which is a Greek organization founded in 2011 and promotes broad interest in astronomy, disseminates knowledge in astronomy and astrophysics to the general public, and especially underprivileged children. And through observatory always and educational activities. We try to enhance and facilitate interactions among members having interest in astronomy. We organize many annual courses. We help children with annual competitions and the national competitions in astronomy. And we organize many lectures, seminars, workshops, conferences. We are collaborating towards the popularization of complex concepts of astronomy for the layperson, and as I said before, for underprivileged children, especially refugees, children with special education needs, and also children at the Golostikal Hospital. And where the weather is suitable, we organize also astronauts and sky observations, which have a huge impact, especially on children. Since the outbreak of the pandemic, we have been organized, of course, online lectures and STEM workshops. We try to use space themes to increase students' interest in science, because this is the goal. The goal is to make people love science at an early age, and enhance then their scientific literacy, improve their skills in STEM. So our training programs include some online and in-person lectures and workshops about presentation of astronomical topics in the classroom, examination of multimedia curriculum materials such as software or simulations or animation, and always hands-on activities, classroom, laboratory experiments. Why? Because students have the opportunity to experiment with always using simple and common found materials that we can find easily in our home. I mean, they don't need expensive equipment. So they experiment with new learning inquiry-based activities, and they are involved in the process of problem solving. When we're talking about STEM, we always talk about problem solving. So we use innovative methods for the development of new educational scenarios and lesson plans, and learning of process of astronomy more engaging and effective. So students become more open towards science and society, and the role, of course, of teacher, which is the most important factor, is upgraded. And I want to say here that astronomy is unfairly a subject which is unfairly excluded in the curriculum in most countries. So I think that the objective of our company is very important for promoting the integration of astronomy in the curriculum in most countries.
Interesting.
So it's global. You're not just working in Greece, you're working around the world.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I'm
And how long have you been doing this?
Yes, I started with the national project, which is called Innovate Your Dreams. It had a huge impact around the world. It took the dimensions of revolutionary educational movement. Teachers went before the camera and they presented the ideals of the program as a vision. The students depicted the logo of our program through research, the logo was everywhere. So after the success of this program, teachers from 70 countries were involved. I decided to continue with more humanitarian projects. So I wrote 2 projects about food and water education and awareness for students in Africa and Asia. And I started to implement online lessons and such as physics experiments with the students there, which is, of course, very, very challenging and very, very difficult, because it's difficult to talk about water education to students who are thirsty. Wow. So now my task is much more difficult. Yes. And I'm also very excited to announce a new one. I'm very excited, a new one, a project about gender-based violence. It's called When Gender-Based Violence, Why Is a Better Option? And it is inspired by students in Nigeria. And this project aims to raise awareness, gender-based awareness, since they are of 11 to 13 years old. And it is based, of course, on 5 out of 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And our main final outcome of this will be the strengthening of the idea of peace among the students who are experiencing gender-based conflict and gender-based violence. Of course, this school-based intervention, which will be pilot in Nigeria, could promote gender equality and, of course, prevent violence by challenging the stereotypes that want give men power over women.
Wow.
So this is my new venture.
2 things that come up right now. One is the importance. Yes, very important. 2 points that I notice is, one is the importance of education right now, because there's so much going on around the globe, and without proper education and people reaching out to people around the globe, we don't even know what's going on, because everything now is on a global scale. And your program is very important to people of all ages, not just children. So very, very exciting. And globalization is everything. We've been working on this, and we're going to be working more with other organizations connecting Detroit to Chicago to Boston to Greece.
Greece,
We're going to
Texas.
we're going to be going to Texas soon.
Welcome, Mia. How are you?
Yeah, it's in the house.
Hello, wonderful. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Mia. Welcome. We're very excited to have another U.S. person.
So we have Texas, we have Michigan, actually Chicago, Michigan, Detroit, Texas, and Greece.
So this
And
is
Florida.
Oh, we're Florida. Florida. We have Bolivia,
And Bolivia.
Colombia, and we are global.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. So we want to introduce our third guest, very special lady to us because she is doing something that many people would love to do. They dream about, but she took a dream and created a reality. So she's an inspiration, and she is Miss Maya.
Miss Maya, yes, we're gonna welcome Miss. Let me tell you a little bit about Maya Smith Edmonds. She's the owner, operator, and board member for 7 McDonald's restaurants in Texas, USA. So, woo! Congratulations!
Thank you.
Just to mention a few things that she's doing because she
Oh,
also
she
is
has a
involved with a
list.
nonprofit. She's gonna tell us more about that.
Yeah, tell us about how your McDonald's, but also the foundation.
Okay. Like you all mentioned, I'm the owner operator of 7 McDonald's restaurants. I absolutely love that, franchise owner. And the thing that I'm like so passionate about is the Smith Foundation, where we send children to college. They're in like underprivileged areas or low income areas, because it's so many times that students get accepted to college, but they don't go simply because they cannot afford it. And so we're being able to close the gap on economic inequality so that the children will have the opportunity to get an education so they can make a difference in the generations to come, you know, not only in their family, but also to be that one, to be that trailblazer in the family, to be able to really make a difference and change the trajectory of their culture, change the trajectory of their household, and then also just bring more income into their families. We also do school supplies. So for elementary schools, we give out school supplies at the beginning of the year because so many parents that are trying to just meet the basic needs for the children as far as clothes and food and having a roof over their heads. It's not that a lot of times they don't want to get the school supplies, but when they're trying to decide between the needs and some of the wants, and that is a need at the school, but sometimes that doesn't happen for some of the children. So we just step in and meet that need, because at the schools, what they're doing is they'll get all the school supplies that have come in from all of the students. And what they'll do is just put them all in one area so that students that did not have the opportunity to be able to get school supplies, it allows them to be able to have everything it is that they need whenever they start school and to continue on throughout the school year. So what they'll do is kind of like share all the school supplies, and that really makes a difference, because whenever you're young and you get that stereotype of either you're not enough, or your parents didn't love you enough, or you don't have, or you're less than, that kind of will stick with you. And we don't want children to start their lives off like that. So we make it very, very a big priority to make sure that we make that happen every single year. So, I mean, you may see us in like big U-Haul trucks, big vans, going to the different like Walmarts and Targets and Staples, you know, getting all types of supplies, getting donations for supplies, and just taking them over to the schools, and the children are just absolutely just in awe and just so happy with the things that they get. I mean, we even get some kids that are excited about getting a lunch kit, you know, so, or just retractable pencils and erasers and stuff like that. And I just love to see their faces light up, because for them to be lightened up about getting an education, that's a big deal, because so many children, if they don't get taught right or they don't have what they need, they kind of fall by the wayside, and then that affects them later on in life. And so we really want them to have an opportunity to be successful in life and to have a fair chance. We also give out Christmas toys at the end of the year, and I love that, because the organizations that we usually try to partner with are organizations where you're dealing with parents that have had hard times, or have either gotten incarcerated, or have gotten sick, or just placed in any type of position where they're just not able to supply Christmas toys for their children at the end of the year. And so whenever we get a chance to do that, not only do the kids feel like they were not left out, but then they get the opportunity to kind of pick what are some of the things that they actually wanted. Because I usually take the extra step when I get with organizations to find out what are the things that these kids really want. So it's not just you got something, but you're excited because you got something that you actually wanted. Even if it's electronic, if it's a roller bike, if it's a moped, if it's a whatever it is, because I really believe in making dreams come true. I mean, that's what makes my face light up. I'm talking about the kids' faces lighting up. I just love to just bring smiles to people's faces and really just make a difference and a really big impact. And so I think that's why I'm so passionate about what it is that we do, because I know that it's something that I can invest in myself, but that would die with me. But anything that I invest in others has a chance to last forever. And so that's what I live for, and that's what I love. And so a lot of people always ask me about McDonald's, and I absolutely love it. But I know that God blessed me with that opportunity and that financial freedom so that I could just go out and just be a blessing in the world. And I absolutely love it.
That's
Well,
amazing.
That's incredible.
But something important that you mentioned is the passion, right?
Yes.
But to
Yes.
have passion, you also need to have a routine. I'm going to ask this
Yes.
question to Sonia. What is your daily routine?
So for me, and this, it changes. It's not as consistent as it used to be with all the changes we're going through in the world today. But it's really important to start your day off with some positive affirmations, prayer, exercise is really good. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I love my morning tea. So I love to get started with those things. And it really kicks off the day and help you start in a positive direction. Start with those morning affirmations, get some positive energy, starting with prayer. And if you're a coffee drinker, have that hot cup of coffee. For me, that would be tea.
What about you, Rania?
Well, hard work is an essential part of my daily routine. Unfortunately, I get up early in the morning and go to work. And after I come back home, I work on my humanitarian international projects, on my new books, on articles, research papers. I'm online for many hours because I have to discuss with my colleagues all over the world and mentor them, especially the teachers who implement my projects. But despite my loaded schedule, I always make sure to find time for my friends and family. So I'm trying, it's not easy to have a balanced life. I'm trying.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Everybody's talking about balanced life, and just listening to this lady.
I'm trying. I stopped drinking coffee because I noticed the coffee was not helping me. I said no more coffee for me. So now I'm drinking tea.
I can't get rid of my coffee.
Well, that's
I'm
hard
Colombian.
from Colombia, right?
From Colombia, I have to drink coffee. It's a national law.
Mia, what do you do to relax and unwind?
What I do to relax and unwind is I love to watch movies. I don't have a specific one in particular that's like, oh, my favorite one, especially when it's time to relax. So I have like favorite cartoons. Like I like to literally like just watch cartoons or shows, something that will make my mind like just relax. And the reason why I love to watch cartoons is because my favorite cartoon is Tom and Jerry. This is just so crazy.
Love it.
I love Tom and Jerry. And so it allows me to relax because it allows my mind to just get into, like, you know how when you were a child and you just didn't have any care in the world, you didn't worry about anything. And it just, and to me, for me, what it does is it allows my mind to go into that dream mode, that creativity mode. It just really allows me to just disconnect from anything that causes me to have to really process and give like some real thought to. And it just allows me to just get into free thinking. Because every morning, like I pray, I listen to my spiritual music, and then I, of course, speak in tongues and pray over my team and pray over my family. And then, of course, I get into my numbers and all of that. And so my days are filled with like numbers and problem solving and like something may happen at one restaurant and that kind of thing. So for me to really unwind, like a lot of people I know they work out. I work out, but I'm so focused when I work out and I'm competitive when I work out. I don't really think I relax then. So I really don't relax until I start watching cartoons. That's crazy.
You're working out your brain. That's
Yes.
your work out your brain.
Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is. But yeah, that's what helps me relax. And also I
What
meditate.
time
on
do you
God's
wake
word.
up? What time do you
I
get
wake
up in
up
the
at-
morning, Maya?
At sometimes 5:30 or 6 a.m.
Wow.
Okay. And what about the other ladies? What time do you get up in the morning?
6
For me,
a.m.
6 a.m.
We need
For
to
me
learn
too.
from I'm trying.
6
I'm
a.m.
trying.
What is that? 6 a.m. I'm a
Middle
night
of the
person.
night.
So I'm at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm texting. Because a lot of these ladies are in India and they're texting me
You
at
don't
3 like they
stop.
don't think
You
I
don't
sleep.
stop. He's sending me messages at 3 in the morning. I said, excuse me, I have to sleep.
Y'all are like me. We don't sleep because I'm a night
We
owl
don't sleep.
too. Like I'll
We
be
don't
up
sleep.
late, and then I'm up early in the morning. It's like I don't know what it is. Yes.
The
Yes.
main thing I think we need to develop is routines. We talk about that all the time. Sometimes it's hard, but I think routines are crucial to having success because it's hard to not have control of your day. So having some kind of a routine really makes a difference on your performance, and you're not so drained because you're going 100 directions. You kind of go from hour to hour, more or less planning your day because everybody's going so many directions with this COVID that everybody has reinvented themselves, but they need to go back to balance and routines. And I think the most important thing that everybody has in this particular panel is passion. They're all excited, they're all happy, and they're all looking for ways to impact the world. And if we have that attitude, more people, we will have a better place.
Yeah.
Everybody will be following you ladies with your
You know,
great
when you mentioned
personalities.
about routine, Al, yeah, definitely routine is something important, but something that also that I learned with the time, because I started my first company when I was 17 years old. So believe me that I don't think that working hard all the time is a good secret, because as a teenager, 17 years old, you know, you're still a teenager, you need to also have fun and have friends. But I didn't really enjoy too much on that area of my life, you know, having fun with my friends, because I was working all the time. My point is, I don't think that I want to be multitask anymore. I prefer now to focus only in one
That's a
project
good point.
or one specific task,
Yes,
be efficient,
yes.
be
Productive.
effective.
Yes.
But once I finish that task, then I can move to the other one. I used to be like, you know, handling
Like me.
Oh, I didn't want to say that. Excuse me, you're the president. But no, you know.
I'm doing 20 things at the same time, but he says, focus out.
But I admire a lot. Rania, tell us more about your routine. Oh, no, you already said about the routine. What I was going to ask is, who is the person that you admire most?
Did you say me?
Where
Vania.
the person who had the most positive impact in my life was my first grade elementary school teacher, because he taught me the importance of work and play. She also helped me to have the courage to express my opinion. And from a very young age, I learned that self-respect always includes the respect of others. She was a real model for me. And maybe I think she was one of the reasons I chose to become a teacher.
Wow.
That's beautiful. Beautiful story.
Yes.
Next. Who do you?
Well, what about Tonya?
Yes, I give all credit to my mother, to my beautiful mother, because that is where it all started. That is where I learned about hard work, about sacrifice, because I saw her, you know, growing up as a young girl, watching my mom work 2-3 jobs, working as a single mother, never giving up, always working hard. That's truly my inspiration, and who I look up to even today as an adult, because a lot of my drive and passion and hard work and not giving up is directly contributed to me watching her as a young girl, and her working hard, her hard work, and the sacrifices that she had to make. And so she is truly my inspiration.
Oh, that's
a great
beautiful.
story.
Yes,
I love it. I love it. Maya, who is your inspiration?
And I would have to say mine is my dad. That is where I got all of my everything. Of course, like my dad was a McDonald's owner operator, but as a child, I was with him all the time. And so I was in the restaurants. I saw him work doing business. That's where I ended up getting my passion and my dream for being a McDonald's owner operator. So he taught me work ethic, accountability, loyalty, commitment, dedication, sacrifices, and the systems that we have in McDonald's, the communicating with people. And a lot of times, people think that with us being in McDonald's, that it's about us selling hamburgers and fries and just customer service, but McDonald's is really a people business, and we just so happen to sell hamburgers. So he really taught me the art and the craft of people, understanding people, understanding their wants, their desires, their needs, things that will help them be the absolute best that they can be, having empathy, communicating with them, seeing exactly what's going on with them, understanding the care of those individuals, because anyone that we're charged to lead, we have to not only take that seriously, but we have to understand what that commitment is. We're the ones that's going to come early, stay late. We're the ones that's going to come on our off days. It's like a 24-hour thing. And so once people know how much we care, then they're going to be more committed and more involved. And that's going to build that level of trust and that level of confidence. But he's the one that had the most positive impact on me in my entire life, as far as to quantify the things that I learned with him, and then to see me actually using those tools to be who I am today. It was my dad.
That's phenomenal, because imagine following your dad as a kid around the restaurants and learning everything. How many McDonald's burgers and french fries did you eat all your life?
I know,
You
it's
grew up
pickles. Look at strawberry sundaes and quarter pounders and
wow, the
orange
ice cream.
juice.
Oh.
Oh my God. I remember one time, because I was a little kid and I was so excited to be able to drink as much orange juice as I wanted. I drank so much orange juice. They didn't know what was wrong with me. So when I was thrown in the restroom, I think I passed out. So my dad calls me. He's like, what happened to my daughter? And then when I went to the hospital, it was like, oh my God, she just drank too much orange juice. I mean, I was drinking orange juice all day, every day. And I said, okay, you know what? You have to lay off the orange juice. I was so little. They was like, what is she thinking? And I would just be drinking orange juice all day. I mean, just on a sugar high. So yeah, needless to say, I had to lay off the orange juice, but yeah, I had a endless supply of McDonald's. I had all the Happy Meal toys, so many fries, and then I would get the pickles all the time. So that was me as a
But
kid.
that's the best school, right, Maya? It's the best school to learn from, the practice, the experience there.
Oh,
since
hands-on.
you were a kid.
Yes.
So
Hands-on.
by the time you
Yes.
start managing, you know everything.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
better qualified than most owners, because she grew up in the business.
Yes.
Incredible. The things that we hear from you ladies are really basic tools for people to succeed, start a business, grow a business. And we even have ways to grow your business globally. So we have a perfect panel today. We have education.
I was going to say that. You read my mind.
We have education, which is crucial. We have a lady that's going to take your business global. And then we have a lady that's going to help you start a successful business and run it and keep it, because people start businesses without thinking of two things: their employees and their customers. They only think about their business. And 90% of our businesses go under because they have the wrong way of starting and run a business.
Yes.
So if you put your customer, your staff, and I would even venture to add one more, which is your suppliers, because if they're not happy, they're not going to give you good service. And the
That's
shipments are going to be late, or they're going to have fries because you made them mad. So you have to take care of your suppliers, your customers, your employees, and also be involved in the community. So you have the perfect model to start and grow a business, Maya. So you need to take this idea global. Oh, we have a lady that can do that.
Astania.
And then we have a lady that can teach other
All the
entrepreneurs
education.
how to run a successful business. So we should put a webinar on how to start a successful business, how to teach people to run a successful business, and how to take your concept global.
That is why it's so important to, when the book is ready,
Yes.
to buy the book and to read the book, because you're going to learn a lot from all these amazing professional and successful ladies worldwide. Imagine having this like a treasure for me, because I just need to read, learn from what they did wrong, what they did right. And,
Yep.
I'm gonna get so inspired when the book is there, and I'm anxious to read the book.
Yeah, I'm anxious to read it too. Learn from incredible ladies that are going to help me be better.
Talking about ladies, I'm gonna ask this question to Rania. Rania, what do you think is the role of women in business in today's society?
Well, first of all, I believe that women are great leaders because they have the innate ability to dream big, challenge assumptions, inspire teams, teamwork, and know how to translate big ideas into concrete action and results. So they're able to balance professional and personal leadership skills. And most women are by nature empathetic and value relationships. They demonstrate passion, enthusiasm. They're good at multitasking. They're creative problem solvers, motivated by obstacles. And also, they're flexible. They lead by example. They also have a high emotional intelligence, which is very important. And they are pragmatic. And also, nowadays, women have proven that they can become leaders as male also, because the role of women in business today is very important. Women, as I said before, can leverage their natural intuition and social communication skills. And this is a new type of leadership, which is called organizational and transformational. This is the leadership of today, and it's about managing and not controlling them. It's also about inspiring, transforming people. And the most important characteristic of women leadership in business is what we call interactive leadership. It is a characteristic of many female executives because they encourage participation, facilitate inclusion, they share power and information, and in this way they can enhance the self-esteem of others and inspire enthusiasm about the work. So I want to say that women can play a major role, especially during the COVID pandemic. Women have taken a greater role, great responsibilities. And this is very important for us to highlight the fact. I'm very excited to say here that it's important to highlight the leading role of teachers, because teachers before the pandemic were the unsung heroes, and now they become real leaders and celebrated heroes. And leaders are not born, leaders are forged in a crisis. They're those who pave the way. And I'm very, very happy that you reward women leaders from educational sectors, because during the COVID pandemic, teachers all over the world are making outstanding efforts with the students to support them and to offer them especially moral and psychological support, since, all this recent research about mental health disorders, serious mental health disorders that students are suffering from.
Great information to be in the book, because there's a lot of things that we don't see because of the pandemic, how things have changed in the perspective of people. Great insight. Thank you so much. Mia, tell us a little bit more about your thoughts on women in leadership today.
Well, my thoughts on women in leadership today, or what is their role in business today in a society, I believe their role can be anything. I believe that they can, whatever they dream, whatever they believe, and whatever it is they hope and aspire to have or to be, they can be it. They can be all of the above. So there are no limits on where women's role is in the society today, what platforms they can stand on, what role they can play, what positions of leadership that they could be in, what field they can be in. I believe it can be absolutely anything. One thing that I do want to point out is that I really want women to encourage women to know their value, know exactly who they are, know their worth, and to not be afraid to stand up for what it is that not only the things that they believe in, but also in the roles that they get into, understanding that the value that they are, they can negotiate exactly what they want their pay rates to be, or whatever the deals they want to have. I believe that is one of the things that I believe that a lot of women sometimes come to the table and not really know their value or have not done the homework in the profession or in the field that they go into, whether it's competitive wages, or whether it's comparable wages, or whether it's the skill set they have, or exactly what it is that they bring to the table, being able to quantify it in a way that would actually produce more dollars for the business or the company that they're going to be charged to lead. And so I just want to encourage that, because at the end of the day in business, we don't get what we deserve. We get what we negotiate. And so I want to encourage women to be more forward and be more encouraged to actually negotiate and not just take whatever someone gives you, because no one is doing you a favor when it comes to business. Business is about numbers, dollars, and cents, and about results. So if you're charged to be in a position, then you've earned that position and you've earned the right to be paid what you negotiate.
I love it. I love it. Tonya, from a global perspective, because you are, traveling and being in contact, relationship with women in other countries, and as you know, the culture is completely different. How you see the women in business role as a global scale in today's society?
Yes, and I want to agree with Maya in that I really believe that it's limitless for women today. But one of the things I want to speak on is the important role that women can play in serving as mentors to our younger generation of young girls coming up. I think that is so important. When I think about the times of when I was growing up and I look at, where we are today, it is so different. And the young girls coming up today have such a different environment to deal with than what I had to deal with as a young girl growing up. That is why back in 2012, I started a program called Future CEO Leaders. And that is to reach back out to my community of underserved girls, all the way from middle school to high school girls, and to serve as a mentor, to offer mentorship opportunities to the future CEOs and the future female leaders. And I think that's so important. And that's a great role women can play today, regardless of what country you're in or you live in. There's challenges all over the world, and there's so much we can do as women to lead by that example and to be that example for the future generation that's coming after us. I think that is so key and so important. But again, the opportunities for women is limitless. Women all over the world are breaking glass ceilings. We are doing phenomenal works, and we are inspiring so many through all of these wonderful efforts. And I think that definitely is a sign and a good direction for our younger girls coming up. And I'm speaking as a grandmother because I have 2 young granddaughters, and I will be with them. Yes, I'm dating myself now, but I am proud of my 2 beautiful granddaughters, age 2 and age 6. And I think about the world that they're going to be coming up in, and I want to leave a legacy behind for them, and I want to set some examples for them. So I think as business women, we can all play that role, and I think a lot of women are doing such a great job at that already by breaking the glass ceilings, opening the doors for women, making sure there's room at the table for women of all ages and races and backgrounds. And I think that's what we can do as women in business.
Wow. I'm touched. I vote for women. I'm a fan. One thing that we talked about a lot at the last women convention was legacy. That was a common factor that everybody really, really is focusing on, is what are we leaving for our future generations? And the pandemic has created a massive opportunity for women because of the internet and the web to be known on a global scale. So now a woman can be doing business around the globe that before she was in her little office doing what the boss told her, but now they're going on the internet, opening new doors and breaking the glass ceilings every minute of the day around the globe. The pandemic has created some massive opportunities, not only for women, but also for people that are shy, they never were able to express themselves. So this is opening a whole new future, and it's all about the legacy that we leave.
Yeah, and I believe that after the pandemic, things are going to be a little bit different in terms that you're not going to be doing the same business as you used to a year ago. Yes, you're going to start meeting again in person, But it's all this virtual world is so practical for people, especially when you want to do global business. You can save a lot of time and money instead of traveling to meet or to do activities. You can just now start virtual, but eventually you need to have, the personal touch. That is
So
very
a lot of
important.
cultures still want that face-to-face and the handshake
Yes.
to close the deals, and that's not going to change.
And talking about the virtual world and the pandemic, remember that next week we have our networking event, doing business in a digital era, in a virtual era, which is very important. I encourage and invite everybody to be part of this discussion panel. We have leader experts, and we're going to be talking about how we can deal with the pandemic, what is going to happen after the pandemic, what is the new way to do business, and all the tools that now companies are using to communicate globally. But another thing is also the strategies that small business can learn to use and implement now.
Yes.
Because a lot of businesses, especially now, as a Chamber of Commerce, we see a lot of small businesses that they were forced to close because they didn't know how to become a virtual business.
Yeah.
Restaurants, they were not ready to do catering, or they were not ready to survive in a different way.
Yep.
So they were forced to close.
Yeah, but McDonald's has always found a way to survive for everything and deliver those happy meals. You can't live
Oh,
without-
my daughter is Mom, can I have a Happy Meal, Mom?
You cannot live without happy meals. I'm sorry. If you have kids, you cannot live without happy meals. I don't care about the pandemic. If I have to drive across the snow to get the happy meal, I'll go get it.
No, and the little one, the 3 years old, I have always asking for the hash brown. McDonald's hash
Yes.
brown.
So he needs hash browns. So
That's me.
that's you. So we come see you.
Yes.
So you need to open one in South Florida. We'll
In South
welcome you.
Florida. Yes. I would love to come
I
to the
love
beautiful
this
weather.
encounter today. We learned, I love the concept of Tonya using the future CEO. That's perfect.
That's a
Love it.
conversation we're gonna have. We're gonna have a whole conversation just on that.
We have a division, the Global Arts Academy, and one of the classes that we teach to teenagers and children is about how they can learn to manage their finances, because it's so important. You don't really go to school to learn about that. Nobody teach you how to manage your finances. You can have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, I don't know, even a doctor's degree, but nobody tells you how to manage your money.
True.
And
Yeah.
when you
So true.
when you finish high school, you are lost. You don't really know
When you
how to
finish
manage.
college, you're lost.
Yeah. And if I could just say something really quick to that, and that is so true. It's also true that you don't learn about business in school either. They don't teach entrepreneurship. They teach
No.
you to go to school, graduate, and get a good job. Well, I can remember where there were no jobs available when we had the down economy. They were not
Yes.
teaching young people to create jobs by starting businesses. And so, unfortunately, a lot of kids does not have that benefit. Like Maya was so blessed to have a dad that was in business
Yes.
that can
Yes.
teach her. And,
Yes.
but a lot of children do not have that. So if you don't
Right.
come from a family of entrepreneurs and you're not being taught that in school, where can you learn those skills?
That's right.
So that is really where I saw the gap. And that was my passion behind starting the Future CEO Leaders Program, because through that program, young girls was able to get that training and those skills in entrepreneurship. And they were learning how to create jobs and add value to their communities and the economy instead of just taking a job.
I love it.
Absolutely. Yes.
So with so much information, I'm going on overload.
Yes.
More coffee.
So it's Friday and I can't think anymore.
No. More
Just
coffee.
to unwind.
Yeah, I have to go watch cartoons. I'm gonna go home and watch cartoons.
Just relax.
So the good news is that our organization and our 100 Successful Women is not a one-time event. It is not a one-book organization. It's a full year of activities, connections, and opportunities for people to learn, grow, and connect. So that we've been at this over 13 years, and I think now we are reaching many more people because of the internet. And unless we have people like you ladies sharing, inspiring, and motivating other people, we're stuck. everybody complains on television. Everybody's tearing everybody else down. And we need to change. We need to change because this society is upside down. It really is. Some of the horrific things that go on today, I've never seen in my life. It's just horrible. And it starts at the top, you know. If you don't breed positive, happy information, whether it's a corporation, whether it's a government, wherever it is, everything starts at the top. So we need to have change. And leaders like you ladies are going to help bring on that change. But we have to pass the word to the politicians, to the CEOs of major multinationals. They're not out there bringing school supplies to kids that don't have money. They're sitting in their offices looking at how they can make another million. So I think there's a lot of great things we can do together with this type of inspiration and
initiative and inspiration. Yeah, absolutely. And before we finish this wonderful interview, I'm going to ask each of you to give us a reason why people should get the book when it's ready in June. I'm going to start this with Mia.
Okay.
Or Maya. I keep saying Mia because in Spanish you pronounce the way you read. Maya.
Yes. No problem at all. I completely understand. Well, the reason why I would say for everyone to go out and get the book is because the first thing is that I know all of us mentioned when we talked about our daily routine, we talked about we pray and we serve God, or we serve a higher power, or we just keep him first. And what I want to encourage everybody to understand is that your God will never prepare your biggest breakthrough in your past. So that's letting you know God has something bigger, better, and greater for your life that's in front of you, that's for your future. And he's not a respecter of person. What he does for one in principle, he will do for all. So when you go out and get this book and you get a chance to flip through the pages and you see testimony after testimony, victory after victory, going from trial to triumph, over and over and over, what this is just testimonies and examples of his greatness expressed throughout the lives of so many all over the world. And what that is to let you know that you serve a God that wants you to be successful. You serve a God that wants your dreams inside of you to come to pass. So when you get that book, this right here is the first step to you saying, I want what God has for me, because what he has for me is bigger than I can imagine. He's going to bless me exceedingly abundantly above all I can hope, ask, or think. He is ready to bless me in ways that eyes have never seen, ears have never heard, and the mind cannot fathom. So this is why I want to encourage you to go out and get the book. You're going to get a chance to see testimony of over 100 successful women and hear their stories. The thing that I love about what they do with the Global Trade Chamber, they don't just give you stories of, oh, this is so wonderful and so glorious. They allow you to see that other people were going through storms before they got their success story. Yes. They went through trials before they got to the triumph. They had a whole lot of misery before God made some miraculous happen in their lives, because we all have stuff going on in our lives, and this is reality. So it will give you some stepping stones, some tools, some connections, some people to connect with that you can relate to and say, I can go from the pit to the palace. So I encourage you right now to make sure that you get this book, because it's going to completely change your life. It is not by chance that these two talented individuals have decided to bring the 100 successful women in this time, a time like this when the pandemic is hit. This is a crucial time for women to open their eyes and see that God has so much more in store for them. And they put a collaboration of women. This was some hard work they had to do. They went around the globe to get successful women, and they put it all together in one place for your convenience to take your life to the next level. So it would be a shame. It would be a tragedy for you not to have that book in your hand.
Hey, I love it.
An inspiration.
You have to get it. You have to.
I love it.
Every time all of you speak, I feel so motivated. I want to say, yes, amen. I love it.
Rania, why should women go and get this book?
Yes, I strongly believe that this book is yours, because it includes success stories of women who work hard, who take risks, who dream big, who beat odds and many challenges, who keep an open mind, who never stop dreaming, who accept their limitations, who bring innovation. And I want to say here about what we said before about COVID pandemic, that for me, COVID pandemic is a great resetter, an opportunity to bring forward long-awaited reforms in business and education sectors. And society need women leaders that could bring all these innovations. And also, let's not forget what Einstein said, that a crisis is always a blessing because crisis brings innovation. So it's important for us, for all women, to learn from the examples of other women and be pioneers and then for a better future in the world.
Wow.
Wow.
Beautiful message. Thank you. You are so motivational. Wow. And our
Something
global
else, I
lady,
want to add something. Yes, because in April, I wrote a very successful article with the outbreak of the pandemic was in March. And in April, I wrote an article in an international magazine about effective teaching strategies to cope with the pandemic. And it's actually a guide inspired by neuroeducation. And there I talk about the importance of feelings, how to integrate feelings in our lessons. And this could apply to business lessons also. How it's important to develop during social distancing, because social distancing is only physical, it's not social, because our brain is social, according to neuroeducation, evolves through interaction and through others. We need others. We need to make our lesson because learning is challenged by challenging activities, is reinforced by challenging activities and inhibited by threat. It is also to create a secure environment, safe environment, because our brain needs security. So you can find this all in my article. It's free. It's important to leverage also brain-based strategies during this pandemic.
we're running out of time. I'm sorry, but we're going to read everything about you in the book. So we can't wait. One more wonderful reason why they should get the book.
Tanya.
Tanya.
So yes, I think in today's environment, it's extremely important, as Maya said, not just to hear about the success of women, but also to hear about the challenges and the failures that these women had to overcome. A lot of times we just hear all the glam and the glory, and we sit back and think, oh, that can never be me, not with what I've gone through and not, coming from my background. But I think when you hear stories of where other women have come from, their background, their challenges, and their struggles before reaching to that level of success, then it becomes more real for you that you too could achieve that same level of success coming from your background, coming from those same challenges and the challenges that we all have to go through. So it's not just about the success stories, but you learn more from hearing about the failures and the challenges that women had to overcome. So I think that's going to be really, really important for women. But I don't want them to stop at just reading the book and getting the book. Engage with the Global Trade Chamber, engage with 100 Successful Women in Business, because in today's world, where so many of us are isolated because of the pandemic, you have a lot of women that's suffering anxiety and loneliness and all of these things that's going on. Reach out to this organization and connect with like-minded women that can help you along the journey and help you through these difficult times. You don't have to go at it alone.
I love that.
Wow,
Connect. Amazing.
And I just realized
Can't
that we have a lot of people commenting on the chat.
We're so busy focused on you three ladies. We have not been able to look
To
at the
read the
chat.
chat.
We have a lot of comments from many countries, so you guys can check this later. But this is a phenomenal moment for us, and we're so grateful for you. We also encourage other amazing ladies to be in the book, because we still have some spots left to feature and showcase amazing women. So where do they go? What's the website?
They can visit our website, www.100swb.com. Perhaps there you go, it's on the screen, www.100swb.com. Visit the website and you're going to find more information about the book. This is definitely the best book of the year. Everybody's gonna love the stories. And remember, also talking about stories, that next week we have more wonderful ladies that are gonna be part of our Success Stories show.
Wow. So this is a weekly now. What happened to the guys? I mean, it's just something.
Well, that's next Friday.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, I'm not complaining. I love it. I'm learning every day. All right, so thank you all. We appreciate you. We love you guys. You are an inspiration, and we're looking forward to
Love y'all
reading
too.
much more about you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Have a nice
ladies.
weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.